Hi, I'm Madison and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my July TBR. So for the month of July, it is a very transformative month for me. I've got a lot of shit going on and I've got a lot of books that I would potentially like to read. I have a feeling I'm going to go completely off the rails and probably not do most of these. Well, that's a lie. That is such a lie. I should be good, honestly, with all the ones that I've got on this list because they are primarily... No, I'm lying. I'm going to say they're primarily ebooks. I'm probably going to read mostly ebooks the month of July because all my books will be in storage boxes for the month of July because I'm in between moving states, and so July is like my transitional month where all my shit's going to be in storage and I'm just going to have whatever I do have. So I'm going to like have a couple of books with me physically, which are the ones I'm going to mention here. But basically, otherwise, everything else is going to be in my Kindle, depending on what I'm doing. So, let's go, let's do this. So, coming out on July 3rd, we've got Not So Lucky by ᴛɪධᴛᴏᴅ, which I'm so excited to read, especially since I'm going to be in Vegas in July, and this is a Vegas romance. So, following Samantha, and after a night of getting absolutely plastered while out in Vegas, she wakes up and finds out that she's now married to the bad boy quarterback of the NFL. And this guy's like in the middle of like cleaning up his act and showing the press that he's actually a good person, and she has to like try and like appease him until she can skip town and get like an annulment. And it is their romance. Is all I really know about it for now. That's all like the synopsis says. I'm so excited for this because I feel like I haven't read like a accidental like Vegas marriage. Like, you know what, like, I feel like I've seen them around, but I have never really picked one up, and I haven't read a lot of ᴛɪධᴛᴏᴅ stuff, but the stuff I have read from her I've always loved, and I really feel like this could potentially be like one of my favorite books that I read this year. There's just something about it that is like giving me that inkling 100%. Then we've got Bite of Loyalty by ᴛɪධᴛᴏᴅ, which just got really brand new discreet covers, and I'm so excited. I was actually going to read this a couple months ago, and then the author just recently finished the whole series, and I was like, oh, that means I can binge them all! Which if I end up loving the first one, I will binge this entire book series. You have no doubt there, honey. So you're following Alina Van Helsing, who was part of the Van Helsing bloodline until she ended up being turned into a vampire herself. Which, you know, a little problematic because that's what she was supposed to, you know, be murdering. And so after becoming a vampire, she ends up getting inducted into the Dark Imaginarium Academy, which is not like a high school thing. It's kind of like a Zodiac Academy kind of situation. And there are three guys, Lincoln, Andre, and Drake. So it is a paranormal reverse harem romance, and I'm so here for it. I've been really digging like finding really good reverse harem like bingeable series lately to read. I feel like when you find something that works and you can just binge through it, it really helps you like avoid any reading slumps. It happened earlier this year with the Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. It's happening with what I'm currently reading right now, which is the Boys of Belrose series by Tate James and Jean Eve, or whoever that is. And I feel like when you can find something like that, that's just super bingeable, super fun, and like has that RH vibe to it. Bingeable reverse harems are like my favorite things in the entire world. I love them to death. They always make me so happy. They're like my bread and butter. If you do not like read reverse harems, you really need to, because I feel like so many people have like stigmas and stuff against like that whole genre and like don't really know what to expect, and you can find some really amazing ones out there, and to me they're just like catnip. You start them and you just keep going. They're just so anti-slumpy. So I'm excited for this, especially because I haven't read anything that's like vampire-ish in like ages, and I'm vibing with some vampires this summer, you know what I'm saying? Then we've got One and Only by ᴛɪධᴛᴏᴅ. This is a single dad sport romance with fake marriage in it. This story follows Beckett and Greer. Now Beckett and Greer agree to get I can't even agree to get fake married for two reasons. One, Beckett needs to prove that he can maintain custody of his daughter, and for Greer, her dad is dying, and one of his dying wishes is to walk one of his daughters down the aisle. And so the two of them enter into a fake marriage for this. The only thing is that Beckett is actually Greer's brother's teammate. So it's like a little bit of like a forbidden aspect there. And so they end up moving in together and agree to like a contract marriage for a certain amount of time, so like everything can work out for them both. And obviously, you know, as we all know, as fake marriages go, they move in together, sparks start to fly, they fall in love, and I'm so excited for it. I haven't read a ᴛɪධᴛᴏྡ book in a hot minute, but she's one of my favorites when it comes to sport romances, and she previously has written one of my favorite fake marriage romances, so I know that it's something that she can write really, really well, which is why I'm excited for this one. So my fingers are crossed because that also had like a whole custody part of it too. So I think this could be like such a total hit, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited. Then we have Just Friends by Madison Wright. This comes out on July 14th, although I do have an arc of it currently. So you got Hazel, who's been living in LA for a couple of years, had a boyfriend. Her life was great until her boyfriend cheated on her and her whole life went to shit. So as a result, after all that happened, she ended up moving cross country to a small town where like her best friends and everyone else that she knew lived, to kind of like start her life over again. And now after a couple of years, she's finally ready to get back into the dating pool. However, she doesn't really trust the dating pool. And so what she ends up doing is she ends up going to her best friend Alex and asking if he will set her up on some blind dates, and she will return the favor for him as well, because she figures that way, like, I just trust it more. The only problem is that Alex here has been in love with Hazel for years. So he's like, oh shit. And so he does agree to help her out, except his plan isn't to show her that there's an amazing guy out there. His plan is to put her on these dates and help her realize that at the end of the day, the right man has always been there for her since the very beginning, and to help, you know, to try and convince her that he's the right person. I'm really excited for this. I read one of Madison Wright's books last year, actually around this time too, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. They were really sweet and like cozy kind of like romances, and even though there's like never really any spice in her books, I never mind it because she really invites you into the world that this exists in, and like you end up just kind of falling in love with the characters as well. And she does like these really cute like moments with the characters that are just so iconic. So I can't wait to see what she does in this one. I will say I'm a little bit hesitant because the friends to lovers trope is something that I find very hit or miss depending on the situation, and more often than not it tends to, you know, either be a 3-star or a 5-star. You know, it's never in between. It's the same thing like second chance romances. It's either 3-star or 5-star, just because when you have all that like built up connection between the characters already, it either works or it doesn't. So my fingers are crossed. I really hope this one works out because I think it'd be really cute. Now, before anyone judges me for this next one, don't. We've got Squeal by Vera Valentine. If you guys remember, last year during Halloween, I read Squeak by Vera Valentine, which was a balloon animal shifter omegaverse romance, and it was super, super fucking unhinged. It was so unhinged. But I also loved it at the same time. And so this is the sequel. So yeah, this is a polyamorous and MMMF balloon animal shifter omegaverse novella with a lot of different things in it. So I don't want to spoil what happens in the first book. And I really don't think I really need to say much else apart from the fact that it is a balloon animal shifter omegaverse book. It's set at a carnival too, if that helps. But it's a little unhinged, gets a little bit magical, so yes. Then we've got The Doctor by Nikki Sloan. This is an age gap ex-boyfriend's dad romance. I just had to make sure that was the case. Yeah. So you're following this girl who gets with her ex-boyfriend's dad. It's set as part of the Nashville Neighborhood series. There is a massive age gap between the two of them, and that's pretty much, you know, what I know about it. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. You've got no idea. Just because Nikki Sloan is so good at writing smart, it's not even funny. And her books, like I read The Pool Boy last year. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And I've been holding off on reading the rest of like the Nashville Neighborhood books just because there's not many of them. And I've been so afraid to like read them because like I don't want to like read them all and then like not have any left. Like that would just be devastating to me. Although the 5th book in this series is coming out in, I think, the end of August, if I'm correct. It's called The Good Girl. So, I don't know. I'm very excited to read this. I think it's going to be so good. It's going to be so steamy, so smutty, set during the summertime as well. Oh my god. It was... Oh! Oh, this is delicious. Oh, right off the bat. Oh, it gets spicy. She just starts writing with the spice. I'm so sorry. I'm not being very productive right now. Anyway, I'm reading that too. Then we've got One on the Bridge, which is a sexy rivals to lovers workplace romance. You're following Avery and Luca. Now, Avery wanted to get her dream fundraising job at the Oceanic Research Organization, But Luca, who is a former corporate lawyer, basically ends up rejecting her from this dream job, and she ends up joining a different company. And so Avery goes to start at a very struggling startup, and they need money. And there's this gala coming up where the grand prize is this like multi-million-dollar like deal. And so Avery and her team are in the running to win this prize. But lo and behold, so is Luca and his team at the same time. And so the two of them end up butting heads again, as they are both like in direct competition for this deal, and they're both rivals for it. And oh, so good, so excited. I've been really meaning to read this book since it came out last year, and I just like never got around to it. But I really do feel like this year is like, this is gonna be my time, and I'm very excited for it, and I think it's gonna be thebomb.com. So yeah, this is my other plan. And then last but not least, I plan to read Beach Read by Emily Henry. I only know that this is about two authors. Yeah, one who's a romance author, one who's a literary fiction author, and the two of them end up like on vacation for the summer, trying to like fix their writer's block, and they end up actually getting into like a competition. They decide to like switch genres. So he's gonna write her book genre and she's gonna write his book genre, and it's their romance. I've never read Emily Henry before, so this is gonna be my very first one, and I'm gonna do an entire dedicated vlog to it to kind of see whether or not I would even like her, because I've never gotten around to reading this book ever. So I think it's going to be really super fun and exciting. And yeah, that's it for my July TBR. It's pretty long, a lot of things going on, but I'm excited for it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click that button down below. If you want to see more of me, please go to my channel and check me out over on TikTok and Instagram. And until next time, thanks so much everyone. Bye bye.